Hello and welcome to the Ambition to Grow podcast, a space for women of color to be empowered and encouraged with authentic, transparent conversations. This podcast is for all the women striving to be the best version of themselves while growing and healing. I'm your host, Bree Ward, and my goal is to help bring you a little closer to peace and your ultimate power. Welcome to Ambition to Grow. Hello and welcome to the Ambition to Grow podcast. I am your host, Bree, and I'm so excited that you're here tuning into the fourth episode of the Ambition to Grow podcast with me. Let's clap for 4 episodes and 1 month of consistent posting. I'm so proud of myself to be a month in. Well, it's technically not been like a month to the day, but a month worth of episodes, 4 weeks worth. I'm so proud of myself. I have been wanting to do this forever, and I'm like finally doing it consistently, and it feels so good. It feels so good to be walking my purpose. And yeah, just doing something different, stepping out on faith. And let me tell y'all, when I took the step and said, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing it for real. Why God start blessing me with all these blessings, like unasked for blessings, like blessings I was not even thinking were possible. And it was just like, I felt like it was him saying like, I've been telling you to do this and you finally listened. So let me just give you a little glimpse of what I have in store for you. It's been very encouraging. So I'm super excited about that. But I do have a question. What have y'all been watching? I am throwing it back. I never really watch things when they're like popular. I saw this post on Instagram recently, and it was like this guy, and he was like, the post was pretty much saying like, when everybody's obsessed with a series or a movie and they're trying to tell you to watch it, and then it's just like, no, like I'm not trying to do that. And it's like 2 years later, me being obsessed with the series and like binge watching it. And it's like, that is what I do. Like, I don't like to watch anything or things like that when it's like around the hype. I usually like to wait until after, usually like a couple years after. But I'm throwing it back because I'm watching The Hunger Games again. That series is so freaking good, and it's just, I forgot how good it was and how like eerie it kind of is. It's like, this could happen. Like, I ain't trying to scare nobody or anything like that, but I was like, damn, this is not far from reality. Like, it's already like this. It's just a very, 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 very dramatized like reality, but it's so good. The messages are so good. I've watched the first Hunger Games and Catching Fire, and now I'm on Mockingjay Part 1. I'm about halfway through with that. So what have y'all been watching? I know you probably can't really say it. You could let me know on Instagram or on the YouTube comments. If you're on Spotify, I can leave like a little questionnaire thing and you can answer there. But yeah, I have been watching that. And another thing I've been watching is Steven's Universe, which it's kind of a journey of how I even got to watching this show, but I am on my friend's HBO account, Love You K, if you're listening, and HBO recently like remodeled their thing, and so now you can put little picture icons, and there's this BA chick with like an afro and sunglasses on. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be her. I had no clue who she was. And then I saw her pop up on like a little Steven's Universe movie. So I was like, oh my gosh, I should watch the show that, you know, my icon is for. And you guys, I love it so much. And I put my husband on, and I put my 2-year-old on. He's not 2 yet. He'll be 2 real soon. But he's like, we all love it. And I'm like, freaking Steven Universe is so good. It's so funny. Like, that is my type of humor. I be cracking up at Steven's Universe. I love Steven, and I love Garnet. She is my spirit animal. I want to be her. I think I might be her for Halloween. Mark my words. I always have very, very, very ambitious plans for Halloween. And then it's like a week before. And I'm like, oh shit, what are we going to do? I need to get a costume. And then I usually don't end up doing anything. But I feel like it's early enough. And I feel strong enough about being Garnet that I want to start getting my outfit together now. So that's just a little random mindset of where I'm at. I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things I'm watching because I love a good show. I love a good movie, something that's going to make me laugh, something that I can kind of watch mindlessly and giggle like Steven's Universe, but something also makes me think and get deep like The Hunger Games because, man, that is so good. When I watched The Hunger Games the first time, I only watched the first 2 movies. So getting into Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 is like a whole new world. Okay, moving on. Today, we're going to discuss something very interesting. It's discomfort and just living in an uncomfortable state and deciphering healthy discomfort versus unhealthy discomfort. So I was on the phone with my sister the other night and we were just talking. We always I feel like we do these like monthly FaceTime calls where we just talk for a few hours and like we get super deep. And we were talking about discomfort and you know the whole saying, and I believe I said it on my podcast before, like if you're comfortable or if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not growing. So like being uncomfortable in an uncomfortable state usually is an indicator that you're growing. And my sister said that this would be a really great topic to touch on because I feel like people talk about, people say that quote, but there's also an unhealthy side of being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So you can be uncomfortable in your situation and still be stagnant. There's many different types of discomfort that we experience in our life, and I just want to dive into that a little bit. So I love definitions. So I looked up the definition of uncomfortable, and that definition, according to Merriam-Webster, is causing or feeling of unease, awkwardness, or annoyance. So I want to let that sink in a little bit. It's the causing, feeling, okay, my bad. It's the causing or feeling of unease, awkwardness, or annoyance. I feel that feeling like a million times a day. Like I feel like I'm always uncomfortable, and I don't think I'm always like, oh, I'm growing discomfort. Yeah. It's like sometimes it's just annoying. It's just like, dang, like I'm in traffic and I'm trying to hurry up and get home. That was what happened to me today. I dropped off lunch to my husband while he was working, and my son's in the back seat. Something in his Crocs was irritating his foot, so he was just crying. And it's like, I'm driving in traffic at that, stop and go traffic. Luckily I had a couple opportunities to be at a stoplight so that I could like reach back, take his shoe off and see what's going on. But it was like, I was so uncomfortable in that moment. I'm trying to hurry up and get home. I'm trying to look in the back seat and make sure he's good. I'm trying to watch the road because it's like cars driving crazy. It's rush hour. And so it's like, it's a lot going on. And in that moment, I was taking hella deep breaths. There's power in deep breaths, okay? Do not underestimate the power of a deep breath, because deep breaths be getting me through. I tell you that. It's been getting me through for years now. I think in that moment, I didn't reflect or, say like, okay, I'm uncomfortable in this moment. How can I learn or anything like that? But I definitely feel like I was aware enough of the situation, aware of my role in the situation, aware of my son's discomfort and how I needed to be his calm and comfort in the moment and say, It's okay, baby. I know you're uncomfortable. I am so sorry. I wish I could take that pain away, but we're almost home. I'm trying to get us there as fast as we can so we can get there safely. And I feel like communicating that to him, although he's only about to be 2, I feel like it provided a sense of calm, instead of just reacting to the moment, reacting to being overstimulated, reacting to being stuck in traffic. I try to more so suppress those feelings, even though I did feel them, and complete the task at hand. So that is a whole rant that I didn't even really mean to get off into, but I just wanted to mention it because it's a very real experience that I experienced today. So like I was saying, we feel discomfort and we feel uncomfortable all the time. In traffic, like I was just talking about, at work, within parenthood, within our family situations, relationships, both romantic and platonic, having difficult conversations and disagreements, and also discomfort with ourselves and being unhappy with our overall life or progress, or feeling like we should be somewhere else than where we are right now. Let me tell you something. God has you exactly where you're meant to be. You might feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else. You're supposed to be further. Oh, if I would have done this a year ago, I would be here. You're exactly at where you need to be. And that is that. You can't worry about your future if you're not worrying about your present. Your present moment impacts your future way more than whatever future you think that you have. You have to be conscious about your present moment to then positively affect your future. So the question is, when is our discomfort actually assisting and helping in our growth? And when is it hindering our growth? So I have a little story to tell. About a week ago, it's probably about a week and a half ago, I was making French fries for my son with some potatoes and this fancy potato slicer that my brother-in-law got me for Christmas. And it's like a mechanism that you push down. So if you picture, it's like a little plastic rectangular bottom, and then it has like a gray lid that I put on top of that, and that lid can lift up. Like, so part of the lid is still on the plastic rectangular bottom, and then the other part lifts up. And then there's a square hole that you can put like different shaped things. So you can cut onion, you can cut potatoes, you can have like really thin sliced things, you can like do waffle fries shaped things. Like, it's really cool. You can do a lot of different things. But today I was just doing regular old potato squares. So those blades are really sharp, and I had originally had it on backwards when I was trying to make these fries. And so I was trying to, press it, and I'm putting it on there with my fingers, which you're not supposed to do. But I was putting it on there with my fingers and trying to just position in the potato so that I can slice it. And I believe it was a lot going on. I don't remember if my son it was dinner time and I was trying to hurry and get these fries cooked or what. But I was moving too fast, and I sliced my finger on the potato slicer, and those things are really sharp, so it didn't take much. All it took was a little pressure of me trying to put that potato on there, and like my middle finger on my right hand just went and sliced. It immediately started bleeding. It was a pretty deep cut. Hurt like a it hurt really bad. And so I was like, ow, immediately annoyed, because I'm like, this is about to be a cut that's gonna have to heal. It's on my middle finger on my right hand. Like, this is gonna be so annoying. I was like so annoyed. But I just ended up, doing what I had to do. I went, put some, I believe, peroxide, Neosporin, wrapped my finger up, put a glove on, and continued to cook. Within it, I'm just so annoyed, whatever. And I didn't really think about anything besides, you need to be really, 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 really careful with this thing. And you need to make sure that it's never within reach of your son. Because, I knew the thing was sharp, but until I felt the pain of it, I didn't really realize how sharp it was. It's like the most inconvenient finger for it to be cut. I can't braid my hair. I can't I can braid my hair, but it's like more difficult to do it with a big old band-aid on your finger. It's hard to write, it's hard to do the dishes, it's hard to do my son's hair and just care for him. Just doing little things become a hindrance. When I was a child, I feel like, when you're a kid, you get little cuts, you get boo-boos, you scrape your knee, whatever, stuff like that happens. And I would love just wearing Band-Aids. I wanted it covered. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to feel it. I wanted to ignore it. And I remember my mom always saying that it needs to breathe. It needs air. Otherwise, it's not going to heal. Your cut needs air. Otherwise, it's not going to heal. And that's something that I always remember because it's so true. It's so true. So I sliced my finger pretty good. It was a deep cut and it was kind of like my finger, when you cut your finger or something and then you can kind of feel it separating. Ooh, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. Sorry if anybody is squeamish, but it's just it was one of those things where I kind of needed to keep it bandaged up for the first few days because it was just too hard to even have it out. I slept without Band-Aids on. It's I don't care, I'm just sleeping. If it snags on something, I won't even feel it in my sleep. So I kept, it bandaged for the first few days especially when I was doing activities like trying to do my hair or, doing the dishes or things like that. I would try to keep a glove on and just make sure that it was protected. But after so long, I was realizing this cut isn't healing. It's not healing. And although it's convenient for me to keep it bandaged up and wrapped up, it's not assisting in my growth. It's not assisting in my healing. So I took the Band-Aid off and I didn't have a Band-Aid for the rest of the time. And within a week, it was healed. I'm looking at my finger now, you can't even see that the cut was there. It did have some little dead skin, that healed. But that skin around it started to heal and toughen up, and my body started to get used to that uncomfortable feeling, and it was okay. When you ignore your pain and you wrap it up and you try to just cover it and not look at it and just imagine that it's not there, it will never heal. It will never heal. No matter how many Band-Aids you put on that thing. If I could have put 10 Band-Aids on my finger. There were certain days I did have 2 or 3 because it was in a really awkward spot. It was right on the corner of my finger, right by my fingernail. So it was in a really awkward spot. So sometimes I would have to put 2 or 3 Band-Aids on so that it would stay on and so that it would be fully covered. But if I would have put 10 Band-Aids on, that wouldn't have helped the healing at all. It would have actually made it worse. It would have actually gotten soggy and moist in there, and it probably would have even got infected if I would have just kept leaving those bandages on this open cut. It's not good to ignore our wounds because we'll never heal from them. We might bury them and forget that they're there until we're triggered. But if you just continue to keep ignoring it and trying to wrap it up, that skin's never going to toughen up. It's never going to close. It's never going to truly heal. And that was something that I definitely realized. It was kind of like an epiphany moment because I looked at my finger and I'm like, dang, that was less than a week ago. And this thing is healed because I wasn't afraid to take off the Band-Aid. I wasn't afraid for it to hurt. I wasn't afraid for my cut to snag on some things and for me to have to cut the dead skin off with some cuticle cutters. It's not pretty. It don't feel good, but it's necessary. And I feel like, I say all of this to say, it is up to you what you do with your pain and your discomfort, your trauma, whatever triggers that you're experiencing. It's up to you what you do with that. God can't make you do it. God can't make you heal. He can't make you do the things you don't want to do. That's kind of the great thing about God. He gives us free will. So we can pray and pray all day. Oh, Lord, save me. Help me heal from this trauma. Help me to understand this. But if you don't truly do the work, if you don't go to therapy, if you don't listen to the inspiring things and you only fill your life with trash and drama, it's not going to work. Growth doesn't work unless you do. God can't make you do it. Your significant other can't make you do it. Your mama can't make you do it. Your therapist can't make you do it. You have to do it. You have to make that decision. So what makes your discomfort healthy versus unhealthy? So healthy discomfort is when you decide to look at what is making you uncomfortable and ask questions about it. If you want to be a victim, you will be. But I'm going to tell you something. People going to get real sick and tired of you playing that victim card. My conversations with God and my journaling and this healing journey, that's why this is called Ambition to Grow. Because not everybody is ambitious enough to make the choice and stick to it and say, nah, I can't keep living like this. It's time to grow. It's time to move forward. So you can be uncomfortable as hell. But if all you do is complain about it, cry, look for sympathy, go on Facebook and make statuses about why your life is so bad, you're assisting in your own demise. You are actively acting against your growth. Let that sink in. If you complain about things without any intention of actually trying to change them, what are you really complaining for? Like, there are things that happen to everyone. It is promised in this life that we will have hardships. And that is for people of God or not. If you aren't a believer, that is, that's fine. To each its own. But know that you're not exempt of pain. You're not exempt of trauma. You're not exempt of discomfort. Actually, everybody will probably experience those things. Everybody will experience those things. The heck? We're humans on Earth. It's kind of the whole gig here. We're going to be hella uncomfortable. But there's good news. You don't have to sit in that discomfort. You don't have to be sad and feel like this is the end and this is the end all be all. Man, there are so many stories that I've heard. People are out of everything. Money, family. Like the story of Tyler Perry. He was living in his car, homeless. And look at that man now. Say what you want to say about Tyler Perry, but that is a powerful black man right there. That man did that. He pulled himself out of that. Nobody is going to save you. No one is going to save you except for you. Y'all remember that song on Cheetah Girls? I don't want to be like Cinderella, sitting in a dark, cold, dusty cellar, waiting for somebody to come and set me free. They was spitting in that song. I'm about to listen to the Cheetah Girls soundtrack. You have a choice. Don't be sitting here waiting for people to save you. Don't be sitting here waiting for somebody to change your life. Change it your damn self. You have the power to do it. What are you waiting on? Your situation is not going to change if you don't. So make the decision. Moving on to something that's a little bit more sad. I'm sure everybody has heard now of the death of Jackie O. If you haven't, she was a beautiful, beautiful influencer and just person. She was the mother of DC Young Fly's children, and they were in a relationship, and I was a huge fan of hers. I watched her YouTube channel with her 3 young children, and I also really like DC. He's super funny to me, and I've always loved that he's been a man of God and unapologetically speaks about the gospel on his platforms. I don't want to get emotional, but her death really, 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 really hit me, because she was like one of the happiest, most bubbly, most outgoing people I've ever seen. It was like almost like she's just so gorgeous and authentic, you can't even look away. And I first saw something about her death on Facebook, and I don't really like Facebook. Facebook is so ghetto. It's so ghetto on Facebook. Every time I'm on Facebook, I'm like, why am I on here? I need to delete this app. The only reason why I'm on there is so that I can promote my podcast. Otherwise, I haven't been on there for probably a good year and a half. But anyway, I saw it on Facebook, and I'm like, no way. This is fake. This has to be fake. Googled it. It was on People's Magazine. It was on TMZ. And so I was just like, God, please don't let this be real. She has 3 young babies. She was just doing so many things, so many ventures. And it was just a really, really, really sad situation. And I've cried about it many times. And sometimes celebrity deaths really do that to me. And it's like I don't really understand the impact that someone has on me until they're gone. And so she had some really, really great friends. The Know For Sure podcast is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, with B. Simone and Megan Ashley, and they recently did their tribute episode to her. And one thing that I really got from that episode, and just from looking at her life and seeing all of the people's lives that she touched and how impactful she was to this world, it really just made me realize that I have to start living. That is one thing that Jackie did. She lived her life unapologetically every moment. She didn't leave anything unsaid. And I'm going off of what was, said about her friends and loved ones. This was said about her. But just watching her, I can experience this truth. I don't want to leave. I want to live in an unapologetic way. I want to live and ask myself, am I showing up 100% the best way that I can? Am I doing everything that I can to live my life in the best way? Am I participating in my own life, or am I just letting it happen to me? For years, I felt like I was just on autopilot. Like there was just some little man in my head just with little what are those called? Gears or something, just like telling me what to do and where to go. And it's just like, okay, well, this happened and now you got to do this, and you feel upset, so now you got to do this, and well, you're about to go to sleep, so now you do this to help you go to sleep. And it's like we get into these rhythms and grooves and autopilot mode, and it's like we can't let life happen to us. We got to live our life out loud. And that's one thing that Jackie's life really taught me. She was so young. She has young children. She had so many things that were on the cusp of blowing up. It seemed like she was doing it. She was a boss. And I'm just very, very sad that she had to leave this earth so soon. But God wanted his angel back. And I feel like she was definitely an angel here on earth. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because Jackie and her family and her friends have been super heavy on my heart, literally since I found out the news. I don't know how long ago that was it happened, but oh man, it really, really, really hurt me. And in one of those moments of discomfort, I'm not gonna lie, I was very angry. I was angry with God, with life, I was just like, why? Like, why would she be the one that leaves? Why? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and it's like, if she can die, then none of us are off limits. It's the one promise that we have. Well, that and discomfort. But it's the one promise that we have. We all gonna die, and nobody wants to talk about it. And I don't want to leave this earth feeling like I could have done more. It's time to stop playing around, y'all. We gotta start living and not letting the things that hurt us and cause us discomfort to win. When uncomfortable things happen, instead of asking, why me? Ask, why me? God, why did you trust me with this pain, with this experience? How are you revealing things about myself in this situation? Something that we don't always want to talk about or even realize is that when things happen to us, it's so quick to be like, oh my God, he's so this, she's so that. Why can't they just? But why aren't you looking at yourself in that situation? That's something that I've been trying to do. Being able to understand yourself and why you have certain experiences and why you feel certain ways will help you to be able to maneuver through those situations. God is always building us up into the next person that we need to be. So, there's some times where like at this moment in my life, I look back at the past year. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, God, I see what you were doing. You had me work from home with my son for this amount of time so that I could learn this. And you had me go through this really uncomfortable situation and have these hard discussions because now this. In the moment, it felt bad. It felt like, why is this happening to me? This is so hard. And now looking back, I'm like, thank you, God, for that moment. Because it created me to be ready. It created this version of Bree right now. That I can be ready for my blessings and to embrace everything that you have for me. God is building you up. He's not having all of these things happen in your life just so that you can be there and stagnant and not get anything from it. He wants you to take action, but he can't make you. You got to do it, babe. You have to. So the next time that you find yourself in an uncomfortable position, here are some questions that you can ask. Why am I being triggered? Why did that piss me off so bad? Why did that really hurt my feelings and make me want to cry when they said that? What is this revealing to me about myself? How can I grow from this? And a lot of times you don't know. When Jackie O passed away, I cried, real tears, like boo-hooing. And I didn't even know this woman. And I was like, God, why would you do that? Why would you take her? And I had no remote recollection of why he would do that. But now I'm understanding that her death is bringing people clarity. It's bringing me, myself, closer to him. God allows things to happen for a reason. It's not always in vain. It may take years, it may take decades to heal from that, but it's okay. You just have to make the decision that you want to heal. And do a little tiny baby step. And pat yourself on the back for those little tiny baby steps. Because every step counts. And even when we go back in our journey, we take those steps back, we fall down the staircase a little bit, we're still making the effort. So it's okay. It's okay. All right. Whew. This is a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. I'm wiping tears away. Ooh, wait, I need some water. Okay, so moving on to one of the next segments. That's what Bree said. Today's That's What Bree Said quote. If this is your first episode tuning in, every episode I have a little quote. I love to uplift people and just be inspiring. So That's What Bree Said is a little quote where I just have something that's on my heart that I want to say to inspire you. So today, my That's What Bree Said quote is, "You deserve to know you." You deserve to know you. What do you like? The question I hate when people ask me is, what are your hobbies? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have hobbies. Oh, I have podcasts. That's my hobby now. But before I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't, there was a point in my life where I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. Who are you in this moment? Who you were in high school, who you were in college, who you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, who you was last week or yesterday may not be who you are right now. So ask yourself those questions and lean into it. Lean into feeling who you are and understanding yourself. And don't be scared to ruffle feathers. Because when you're doing that, you might be pissing some people off. And guess what? That ain't your problem. Your problem, your responsibility is to grow and heal and be a better person so that you can heal your generational trauma, so you can have a better life for your kids. Keep being better. And lastly, the song recommendation of the day. Ooh-wee. Y'all, this song right here, this song is one of my favorites. If I'm ever feeling down, this is my go-to song. This is the top of my song on my Queen's playlist. I have a playlist that I listen to that I made, and it's something that I usually listen to in the morning, or if I just need to be uplifted. I listened to it today before doing this podcast to hype me up and give me the power to do it. But the song is called Bigger by Beyonce, and I don't even need to pull up the lyrics because this is one of my karaoke songs. But the part that I want to highlight, I'm trying to think if I want to sing it or just say it. I might sing it. I'm going to sing it right now. Understand that truth about that question in your soul. Look up, don't look down, and watch the answers unfold. Life is your birthright, they hid that in the fine print. Take the pen and rewrite it. Step out your estimate. Step in your essence and know that you're excellent. Rise. The Spirit is teaching, and I'm not just preaching, I'm taking my own advice. Okay, I'm about to brag. That's it. That's the one. And I could sing the whole song if I really wanted to. I probably will, actually, as soon as I get off of this, because now I need to hear it. That song is fire. Please go listen to the whole thing, because I didn't do justice. I did not give it justice. But yes, go listen to Bigger by Beyonce. It'll inspire you. I promise. And thank you so much for listening. I hope that this message really blessed someone. I felt like it was a good one. I felt like I got some stuff off on this one. So yeah. Just remember that you are in control of how you respond to your life. You cannot control your life or what happens to you, but you're in control of how you respond. And there's always room for growth and reflection. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to be mad and do whatever. But don't be afraid to just kind of lean into it and be like, you know what? Why am I so triggered right now? What is this revealing about me? Because at the end of the day, you are the common denominator in all of your relationships. So if you start to see patterns, more than likely it's not the other person, it's you. And I say that with all of the love in my heart. So thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you next week. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. And yeah, I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to the Ambition to Grow podcast. I hope that you're leaving a little more blessed than you were when you started. If you enjoy the show, show your girl some love with a 5-star rating. Also, follow me on Instagram at Ambition to Grow. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, and stay blessed, my love.